beautiful Tuesday morning. Like Olori would say, Tuesday with a difference. Thank you for joining us on Family and Values, and thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you for always being our esteemed guest and wanting to always have time with us on the show. Yes, it's the 19th of March 2024. The year is running pretty fast. You know, we are marching on.
We are marching on.
And obviously next week March is going to be telling us bye. You know, how fast and how soon are we going to finish the first 3 months in the year. You know, when you wake up, like we used to say, it's the time to tell your maker thank you. The opportunity to see another day is always a grateful day to God. And yes, Family and Value is here, grateful to God, grateful for the opportunity to be on your screen this morning. Yes, seeing this beautiful face, and of course you're going to be seeing Olori's face soon, so you know that we are glowing and we are bringing good tidings to you, giving you exciting, interesting and educative, very important educative conversation that drives the family value, the family front. That's what we are all about. My name is Jo Abu, like you all know, and yes, today is another day on Family and Values. Welcome, as I specially welcome. Today I want to do the specially thing. I'm especially welcoming Olori.
Hey, so good to have every one of you out there. It's another beautiful morning. Thank God it's another beautiful Tuesday with a difference. My name is Olori Adejokianobi. David, my friends call me Olori AJ. I hope you had a wonderful night rest. Like I will say, if you did not, just manage it like that. And when the time comes for a nap, please take it. Look for a nice place to just take that 30 minutes nap or 1 hour. Okay, maybe your break time, you can always sneak in and do that, because really you cannot have the 8 hours at a stretch like them. My dear partner agreed. Joy from are your boys?
Yes, so I will always say it. You cannot sleep 8 hours. The only time I'll tell you, find time to rest. You can't sleep 8 hours.
Find time.
8 hours how?
You just have, sometimes maybe 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
And you just like, you just wake up, you look so refreshed and like, finally. You need it though. Don't struggle with it. Nature will always come back. And when your body is yearning, you feel little pain here or there, and you have this nagging consistent headache, before you take any medication, do self-medication before you do any. Don't, like I told, don't do it. But before you try, just take a nap. Take a rest from everything. Put your phone on vibration or silence. Silence is the best way. When you do that, put it on a flight mode. No, don't put it on a flight mode, because you not get all the missed calls. Contracts, you know, award of contract and
so that I do not miss the bag.
I would advise just put it on silence and take it away from you. If I want to really sleep, you know what I do? I just put my phone on the dressing table,
Far away, right?
You know, so that I will not feel. But when I wake up, I can go back.
It's okay, yes. Of course, Olori has given you most of those tips you need to know. Let's quickly, today we'll be discussing a topic that is dear to us, dear to family and values.
Very,
very, very dear. When we mean dear because in every sense of it, it is dear. We'll go on a quick mini feature. When we return, oh God, you don't want to
miss any.
The guest we have for you this morning. Let's go on a quick mini feature, and when we return, conversation continues. Yes, the trauma of raising teenagers as single parenting. Last week we discussed about the dynamics of raising teenagers, and we talked generally about parenting teenagers generally, where you have father, mother. But then this week we decided to narrow it to a set of individuals, simply because we are seeing that a handful of them are actually the ones raising these teenagers that we are talking about, you know. And so that's why it was necessary for us to talk about the trauma. Now, when we put trauma, is because most of the single parents, they are finding it difficult to navigate how to raise teenagers because of the peculiarities that come with teenage age. So they are really struggling in that area, and that is why we decided to discuss this topic this morning. And we have I have a special guest. I call him very special because to leave he's busy and he decided, like, you know what, I'm going to be here. He didn't give me, as soon as I told him, he said, don't worry, send me all the details, let me check my schedule. Once it's clear, I'll be there. And truly, he is in the building. Finally. Let's give it up for Dr. Simeon Presley. Good morning.
Good
now,
morning.
I want to read his profile so that you understand why he's so special to us. He is an international certified family life practitioner, crisis resolution specialist, a relationship therapist.
Wow.
Now, he is the founder and president of Love Diaries Network. So you understand why
Love Diaries.
Yes, a non-governmental organization. And also, he is the executive lead pastor. Pay attention to this one at the Revention House Ministries Global. So he's also a pastor. So you can now understand the full package we have for you. This morning.
Beautiful morning.
Good morning, doctor.
Good morning. Good morning.
Well,
thank you.
I won't say you're looking handsome, but let me say the blue came out with the black purple scalp and is giving you this mixed look of, oh yeah, I'm young, I'm still here, I'm still here. Welcome to the show, doctor. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Okay, let me start by asking, when I sent the topic to you, what was running through your mind when you saw the topic, when you looked at it, and because I sent the topic to you and I told you we're talking about the trauma of raising teenagers as single parents. Now, I'm sure you've encountered a lot of single parents and they've come to you with, oh, my child is doing this, or how do I navigate? So, when that topic came to you, what was the first thing that strike you, like, okay, this period, this is what single parents are actually struggling with? So would you say they are struggling with a lot of trauma when they are raising their teenage children?
Okay, so what first got my attention was the fact that truly single parents are going through a lot, especially in this time and age. There is a sweet switch in terms of the oppressions and the running of a home right now, because our society is very porous, and we have children training more of their parents than parents training their children. So the dynamics has changed. So it's quite tough, because when you say train, it's then from teach. Teachers do the teaching, pastors do the teaching, parents do the training. Or when you can't have a grasp on your children, you can't train them, because they have a mind of their own now. Their generation helps them to be way more equipped in the consciousness of, I know what I'm doing. And mom, you are old school, or dad, you are do you understand what I'm saying? So they are now training their parents to understand their own time. So the training is not really as effective as it should be, especially with single parents. However, 90% of single parents are women.
Very true.
Not men. 90% of single parents.
Very true.
Okay, are women. And you can understand the setbacks that can bring without the presence of a man. The absence of a man in the house already gives away almost 80% of the power that puts a child in check. Okay, so for me, when I got the subject, it was really a concern for me, because our society today is made up of largely people raised by single parents. We have a lot of absentee fathers. It's not just divorce that makes you a single parent. The absence of a father makes you a single parent. It's never around. It's even around, but not available. It can be around and not be available to do it. Yes, in the life of the child. So most children, even though they don't come from broken homes, still have that presence of the father missing in their life. So you can as well say that's a child being raised by a single parent.
I want to come from this angle and going straight into the business. Now, looking at it from this angle, some of the single parents come back to, is it because I am the only one raising this boy and the only one responsible for this child, the girl or the boy? Is that why he or she's misbehaving, what do you think should be the next thing when they get to that stage, when they get to that point, when they feel like, am I not making a mistake? Is it not my fault? When they start blaming themselves, to get to a point where they'll feel like, this boy, maybe they call the mother from school, they call the father from the school and say, your boy did this, your girl, we found her with this. When they get to that point where they're like blaming themselves, or they feel, am I not at fault in this? What do you think they should do?
I think one of the main reasons why any single parent will want to blame themselves for the life of a child is because they know at some point that there's a neglect. They are aware. You don't blame yourself when you make the effort. You blame a system instead. But when you know that there is a neglect from your end, you tend to feel bad about how badly you've raised your child. For instance, I already said 90% of the single parents are women. Imagine the trauma of putting on a masculine energy, because you have to be both father and mother at the same time. And that brings you into going out to look for how to survive for your kids, how to help them survive. Doing that, there's going to be some level of neglect, because you have to put food on their table. Most of them have to run multiple shifts to make sure money keeps coming, take care of the kids.
To maintain
and then when the money starts coming, they hire a nanny. So most children are raised by nannies who are only there to be paid and not to be really concerned about the welfare of the child. They're basically there to be paid and do the best they can. But only a parent can truly know. Because even if you bring nanny into the picture, for instance, the child could as well realize that this is just a nanny, you're not my mom.
Very true.
You don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, very true.
So that neglect, that neglect is going to be the major concern that will make a parent can say, oh, where did I go wrong? And this is where most parents go wrong. They don't spend time with their children. I'm just talking about religious time where we're only doing prayers and all that, because that's what most of the time they spend, make devotion and all that. We want to have time, me and you time. What happened in school today?
One-on-one talk.
One-on-one talk. Because sometimes these children are traumatized in school. They get back home, there's no mom to talk to, no dad to talk to. They internalize it.
Yeah.
And it gives them some level of toxicity that makes them, self-consumed and start to create their own world on their inside. So you see children raised by single parents, most of them are timid, most of them are mean. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because the affection is missing, the connection is missing, and they start to build some form of toxic connections with people who are available to them.
So them at that moment.
At that moment. And that's where you get the street messed up, the community, society messed up today with a lot of badly raised children. Check. Some of the people you see doing all kinds of crime here right now, they're between the ages of 15 to 19. I'm not even kidding you. I interface with them a lot.
I can imagine, because you really do.
A lot. And I'm wondering, where did your parents go wrong at this point? That you have to think like this, act like this. When I was 14, I couldn't even dare. You're hearing a 14, 15-year-old girl saying, I just got back to my boyfriend's house, spending 1 week. Excuse me, 1 week. Where's your mom?
What happened?
And then she comes home with gifts for the same mom.
You embrace the same child.
That's why I said the children are training their parents now. So because the power, they've lost the power to be able to manage the home front. Why? Poverty. Let's not even take that away. Poverty is the main cause of all of this mess. Women are going out there to look for ways to raise their kids because the men are absent. Sometimes the men can be present but yet absent. So this I'm blaming myself for the life of this child as a result of the fact that you know that at some level there is a neglect somewhere. I know I'm doing my best, but there's still that vacuum that even though I want to fill the vacuum, the needs around me, the demands around me to make me feel those vacuum.
Okay, doctor, because I'm you're talking and you're talking from a point of passion. You're really, because this is what you're seeing in the field, because it's someone who is in the field that can truly understand what is happening there. Now, you just said between the age of 15 and 19, that's the pure teenage age of every child. How do mothers, fathers who have lost those children at this stage try to get them back? Because it's something to realize that I've lost something, and it's another thing to go find it. Even the Bible says when you lose one sheep, you leave the 99 and then go. Now, but let me put it this way: do you think that single parents have not yet realized that they've lost their children already? That's why there's still this negligence around these kids. Because if I have a child that is doing something wrong and I realize that what this child is doing is wrong, I would leave everything I'm doing to make sure I put that child back on track. But that's not what we are seeing. It's like the more we are talking, the more we are seeing the numbers rising. And then you ask yourself, what's happening? On Sundays they go to church, they listen, they talk, people are talking, we are talking, this is what we are doing. Now, so do you think that parents, single parents, have not yet realized that, you know what, let me take some steps back and gather these children that I have brought, bring them back to avoid the trauma that is awaiting us in future? Because these kids we are having now, they'll be so traumatized and so dangerous that it will affect the next generation. So do you think it's because parents have not realized that?
Okay, I think we need to now go back to the drawing board to be able to analyze this subject, because it's relative. It's not, it's not just peculiar to parents. It's relative. Some people have a different situation that allows them to do what they do, or that gives them the sense of, I can't do it. I know what to do, but I'm not able to do what to do. Okay, I mentioned poverty is one of them. Now, let's say this. Let's put them in classes. Single parents from divorce. That's already nerve-wracking for a mother. She's going through an emotional trauma on her own, for starters. She has kids to take care of now. She's not fully well. She's not fine.
She's not fine. I love that language.
She's not fine.
She's not fine.
But they pretend to be fine.
Women do that because women are tough people.
We are tough. We
people.
have developed that.
That's,
we feel like
now you understand why they are the ones that come to help a man. Stronger people. A man is externally strong. A woman is internally strong. Women can manage pain better than men. In fact, something happened one time. Just to digress a bit. They brought in, they induced labor pain on a man. In 15 seconds, he passed out. That a woman can go on that pain for 3 days.
For 3 days, yes.
15 seconds, he passed out. So women are powerful. They are powerful people. They are strong. However, managing their emotions is where we need to talk about their emotions. Now they are dealing with bitterness, resentment for the man who has abandoned them with children, and sometimes they pass that aggression from time to time. And the kids see this, they see it. They know mom is going through a torturing time, is going through a hard time, but we're not getting the love anyways. We're only getting the provision, but not the love, because you can't give what you don't have. If you have lost love from a man, you feel that burnout. So what you just hold your children is, let me put food on your table and find a way to survive when you grow up. Do you understand, Prince? Because they also want to be fine. They also want to be fine. So let's put it this way. If we bring it to generation, are we talking about the teens of today? Because we're talking about the teens of today. Who are the teens of today? We are looking at two generations, Gen Z and Alpha. Gen Alpha.
What a combination.
And the likelihood of the parents of the Alphas are the millennials, who are also quite reckless. So you see a mother who still wants to be a girl. She wants to still have her life. Now you have kids, but you still want to have your life. So you wake up in the morning, you go out with the girls. You party hard because you still want to have a life. Oh, my man left me, I shouldn't just collapse, I shouldn't just die. because I have a child doesn't mean I should lose myself. I'm telling you real stuff. Some of the time they take their kids and they put them with grandma. Now let's check the age difference. Grandma is 56 or 50. She's not so old. That's grandma. The mother is 28. That's still a girl. Can we?
Yes.
So the girl in her wants to still do life. That child will suffer. I'm not even kidding you. I'm dealing with a lot of them as we speak. Mothers with children that they don't care for.
Mothers with children
they don't care
They don't care for.
You know, Pastor, let's go on our word of marvel. And when we return, we are going to continue this conversation. Mothers with children they don't care for. Let's quickly go on our word of marvel, and when we return, we'll continue. Doctor is still here to do justice to the topic. Doctor. And he's giving us some good tips here. Okay, if you're just joining us, you're watching us on Galaxy Television. We are streaming across all our social media platforms. Please download the Galaxy mobile app so that you can watch us on the go. We have been discussing the trauma of raising teenagers as single parents, or single parenting of teenagers, as you can put it. And we had Dr. Simon Presley. He has been here and he's really educated because he's in the field. That's why this is very dear to us. He's actually in the field, so he understands what he's not telling you what he read from the books. He's giving what he is saying and what is happening among teenagers. Okay, doctor, before we went on that break, you know, we had to go on word of marble. Olori, you have a question?
I love the word of marble. There will be so many times you feel like you failed, but in the ears and eyes and mind of our child or children, we are super mom. And you just said there will be mothers who feel like making the provision, okay, they want to make the provision available and they're not getting the love. As much as we're talking about the children now, let's also look at the area. Because if you are not well, there's no way you can build a life. There's no way you can actually reflect the goodness. Like I always tell people, if you don't love yourself, I can't love you, I can love you. I can't show love to you. So if the mother is not well, she's not psychologically or emotionally well, then you said it, frustration, for all the aggression and everything. I've been doing this, so getting all those things, you'll start you say, oh, seriously, you know, try to come back to let you know, I did this for you, where's your father? I have been doing this for you, where is your mother? You know, so when they need that love, we have talked severally with our guests, and you said, deal with yourself first. So in the area of dealing with themselves first, what do you think they should do?
Okay, we can't take away the fact that it's a hard job to be a parent. In fact, parenting is arguably the toughest task on the face of the earth. It's the toughest task. More so, single parenting is way more difficult than farming and fighting war for 8 hours.
Okay.
Farming and fighting.
Farming and being a soldier.
I'm being a soldier.
As it's way, as in, it's nerve-wracking. It can make you lose your mind. You have the support of a husband, you are still losing your mind. How much more
when you don't have one?
When you don't have one. So it's we can't blame it on anybody. Sincerely, nobody is totally wrong here. Nobody's totally. It just happened to a lot of people. It's tasking to be a parent. It's really tasking. Okay, so at this point, there is always the time for yourself to regain strength, to rebuild energy, to reflect and reposition your mind or reprogram your mind. Because first of all, it doesn't matter what's happening to you, these kids should not suffer for it. That should be the first thing in mind. I have a lot going, but if I'm not careful, I'm going to start a journey for them that is going to cause them pain for life. So it's going to be selfish to now just think about yourself, which is not bad. However, remember that if you are thinking of your own happiness just for your happiness, whilst you neglect releasing values to these children, you will eventually be sad in the long run. You will be sad because they will reflect the unhappiness that you brought out of yourself just to be self-consumed. They become unhappy and bring back the torture on you. So it's okay to take a break from time to time, but remember, spend time with these kids, and sometimes okay to let them know how you feel. They are not stupid. These kids, they are smarter than you think. In fact, teenagers gain their independence faster than they realize that they have hit puberty. They know, they have self-awareness. You think that small boy doesn't know what he's doing? There is self-awareness. He knows. Look at the child that's looking at the mirror and shaking bum bum. There's self-awareness. What makes you think that's important? For you to be shaking, there's self-awareness. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So if they're already getting that level of awareness, why don't you talk to them? Hey, mommy has been having a rough time. Do you know something to say? You see how much mother and kids can bond. You see how much they start to support you and be there for you, even at that little. And they see you sad, you come to your mommy, it will be fine. Because they know you connect with them. Not that you pass aggression.
Intentionally.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's okay to have me time, but it's okay to have we time where we talk. Don't just ask them about what's going on in their life. Tell them also what's going on in your life. Not in a way that damages them, but in a way that encourages them to encourage you.
Okay, doctor, I want to ask this, and this is from a very practical state, and I'm being genuine with this question now. You know, there are times you've tried all you can to leave that space of blaming yourself firstly for seeing yourself as a single parent, where you found out that you've done your check and balance and you're not at fault and it just happened now, and you've decided that, you know what, I want to move ahead, I want to forge ahead, I want the best for myself and for the kids. And when you started this journey, maybe the kids were much younger, so they didn't really understand what was happening. And then they are growing, they get to puberty, they become teenagers, and then the teenage life in them start exhibiting. At that point, probably you've not prepared yourself for what you're expecting. You, in your mind, you're already thinking, I'm raising kids that would be good, that will be, you know, you're being careful with the fact that, no, I don't want them to be part of being like this, and you're trying all you can. And then, boom, from nowhere, that teenage exuberance comes up. At that point, what should you do? Should such a person look for a father figure or a mother figure that would, you know, and sometimes you have people like you that I'll report it to, but these teenagers don't. At that point, they've blown. Let me put it that way. They've blown. What should such a parent do?
It's like I already said, it's tough to be a parent. However, not many people are prepared to be one. Being a mother or having children doesn't make you a parent. If I bring the word parent to you, you hear the word pay. So, like I humorously say, if you can't parent, don't be a parent.
Don't be a parent. If you can't parent, don't be a parent. But I hear that. If you can't parent, don't be a parent. If you cannot parent, don't be a parent.
Not only paying to your landlord,
you run around to your father's house. Dr. Simeon is saying it. If you cannot parent, don't be a parent.
So I need to also make this one. I need to strike this balance here. Hey, there's a life after being a parent. You should own a life first. You can't give what you don't have. You should own it. So that's why when we're single, we're telling people, prepare now. All this fun you are having, cut them down to prepare. Because marriage doesn't give you anything. It amplifies what you bring.
Marriage amplifies
what you bring. It doesn't give you anything. A lot of the assumption people have is that when I get married, I'll be happy. No, if you're not happy before you're married, you'll be far more sad.
Times 5.
Because that was what you brought into the marriage. So if you're naive as a parent, as a single person, because okay, now I have a course I run for married couples and also for single, and I tell them, I said, you're not a wife because you are married. You are married because you are a wife. What that means is that if you check the Bible, say he that finds a wife. It didn't say he that finds a woman and makes her a wife. It means you were a wife. That's why you got married. Now, so there are three different stages in the life of a woman. The first is the woman, next is the mother, and the last is the wife. So what this means is that you have to be these three before you are married, though. But we assume that it is when we are married that will become these three. The woman there is the supportive structure for a man. She has resources to support, emotional resource, spiritual resource, physical resource to support her man. The mother supplies. That's why, if you know, we all grew up from a place where even there's nothing in the house, mothers always find a way for people to eat. Even if there's nothing, give her 1,000 naira, she will still cook soup and everything will come out.
Everything will come out.
Yes.
Because
And
by me,
sweet.
it will be nice, fantastic. In fact, it's very interesting that time. You'll be eating it. I'm wondering, are you sure it's the
And you keep
1,000?
licking your hand.
Do you understand?
And then that's what make men do say, no, she added something.
No,
She added money to
do you get? Now, that mother in you is the caring part. Is the now you don't have to have kids. You have younger ones. You have parents. You are showing that care from before you even got married. There's compassion. There's empathy. There is selflessness. You put others first. That's what really makes you a mother. And then you have a wife. The wife's her job is just to submit. That's just her job. Her only job is to, no matter how powerful you become, is to be under the authority of a man. That's wife. So you see, this woman and mother should not be told with. Most women are powerful women, but they're not available to show care for their children. So they delegate care while they go look for money and look for life. Delegate care to grandma, delegate care to nanny, to all kinds of people. I have one that even delegated care to neighbor. The children will be there till she comes back at night from, and now this is also very crucial. If we're looking at how these people can do better in the society for their kids, they need to feel better, they need to be better. They need to talk to somebody. They need to also submit to delegated authorities or constitutional authorities. Your pastor should be able to know what's happening in your house. Your big brother or somebody you can talk to and help you calm. And it's okay to do getaway from time to time, just to go and clear your head.
What kind of getaway are you talking about?
Okay, I'll leave that.
No.
I'll leave that to the later.
No, you have to. Okay. You know, it's your field.
Okay.
And because you practice under this canopy, this umbrella of counseling and also knowing how to manage. Let me ask you again, still on that question. How do I get my me time? How do I do my getaway time? You should be able to help us in that area.
Okay.
So please, it's good. It's good. I may think getting away is taking 7 bottles of green or brown bottle, nice park here and there, go out gallivanting, going to the nightclub, because I've missed going out. Maybe I have used to do that with my husband. Or maybe go to church and just me time, Holy Spirit, pick me down. I go to the mosque, I shout Allahu Akbar, and like that. So what is the me time? How do I get my me time? I'm still going to ask my question.
Yes, well, because I know that me time is relative. It's not what you do for me time. It's not what you do for me. If you ask me as a pastor, I'll tell you, me time should be the time of reflection, not just something that you do to forget your pain, because it's going to come back.
Not to forget your
pain.
That's very
it's going
important.
to come back. It's just like getting drunk to forget to numb your pain. When you hyponclaim God.
Yeah, you come back.
Your eyes because they shine like
Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm looking at something that is therapeutic, not just for the moment. So if I go for reflection, just to go, calm myself and all that, I could do that with a music atmosphere that could require for me to go to a place, maybe party or somewhere, Okay, I could do that in a place where I could do that in a library. I could do that anywhere that just help me to reflect. That's why I said it's relative. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Then if I'm also choosing an indulgence whilst I'm trying to deal with something, I don't want to choose an indulgence that will make me start dealing with another new thing. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
because the after effect of that thing will make me start dealing with a new trouble, with a new problem. So I don't want to indulge in something that will make
so you now start getting addicted to something you have no business.
Do you understand? And the problem with that is that once you start, the first time you get high with it, you may get intoxicated and find and feel like it's good. The next time that thing may not get you high again. You will need a new highness.
Okay.
A new highness.
Before let's continue with this. My question now is this. Thank you for shedding more light on that. But me, I love to party once in a while. Go to this party.
Yes, good.
It's like, Joy, let's go to the cinema.
Awesome.
I do my own self-reflection when I want to, because sometimes when you're doing your self-reflection, there's this saying that sometimes when you try to go and pray alone, you may not be able to maybe sleep off and feel so down, but you need someone who is also spiritual higher than you, so that the other person can always keep you up. Now, my question is this: you were saying something about you make provision, blaming yourself for the provision, not the efforts, right? I want to do this lady that the video has gone viral. She's a single parent, I want to believe, and she was seen blowing a smoke of shisha, according to what was written. I don't know which one, because I don't know where she's living. And she was blowing it on a baby. Now, I was looking at it. Yeah, I cover entertainment, so I know a little bit about how much it costs to have that bottle of shisha. With all that she has around that room, with the little video we saw, baby was on a seater. That seater is not a child's play, it's expensive. One little way. Now we say because she has made a provision for that baby, she believes the life of that baby can, this is what I want my baby to go up to be. Let's assume she's a single mother. Maybe the husband left for work, or she's a single mother. I'm looking at it in two ways. That kind of mother, do you think she's well? Do you think, stop saying she's not well, but do you think she's mentally stable? And do you think, in the kind of society we are, God bless Lagos State, they are looking for her right now. I pray they are able to find her. But do you think our society is right to, if it's outside, they'll take the child away from her, do certain make provisions that will make the child to, you understand what they make the mother to go so. Do you think that lady is well? One, two, our society, is it ready to help to build or make corrections when necessary for single parents who are having teenagers or babies with them, and to manage this trauma they go through?
If you ask me, I'll tell you, we don't have that infrastructure in our society right now to take care of children who are suffering from bad parenting. We don't have that infrastructure. We may be told, we may have been told that we do, but we really don't. And that's the least of our problem right now in Nigeria. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now, you get a kind of situation where boys and girls start to run a home.
Boys and girls start to run a home.
That's what you get when boys and girls. Marriage is not for boys. Family is not for boys. It's not for girls. So people who are going to walk away from that self-consumption to, I now have a life that care of me. How could you do that to it? That means she's way more selfish than you can actually imagine. Because if you have to consider the child there, your fun, your pleasure will not be powerful enough. And we're not even talking about your habits. They're your habits. How you do them is crucial. I'm not saying you shouldn't even do your habit, because habits don't just die like that. But you have a child now. How would you do that in front of a child and even over the face of the child? Today we see young girls who are parents do makeup for their children.
Yeah, and fix nails.
Fix nails. Is it just shisha we're talking about? We see fathers who give beer to their children.
Yeah.
Is that so? A lot is happening. So you see, these are boys and girls, and patterns happen every now and then. You can't even fight patterns. There's a likelihood that everybody who is a single parent today was raised by another single parent. What we're dealing with is deeper than what we're talking about. Once patterns are in place, they will repeat themselves over and over again until somebody consciously breaks away from it. Where do we address this from? From the government end? Have they fixed power? Have they fixed basic things before they are coming to fix family?
No time.
I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. If they take that child away from the woman, would they do a better job?
Yeah. Than the lady.
So we're looking at a very complicated issue here. We're discussing a bad mannerism here, but it's deeper than that. What this woman was thinking suicidal at the point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wish she's okay.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And you know, when you are like that, you don't reason, you don't think, you don't even know what you're doing. You just do some nasty things until you come to self-awareness, like, that was rubbish. But at that moment in time, we can't tell what she was thinking.
But doctor, you know, when we were growing up, teenage age for us was a time of molding.
Yes.
It was a time of reflection. I can vividly say my twin got married at a teenage age, 22, 23. And she's still in her marriage, I think almost 13 years down the line or 12 years down the line. And this was a teenager. The husband is just maybe 2 years older than her. Now, in this era, you can't, if the mere thought of such a girl saying, I want to marry, the fear of what she will produce will not even allow you want her to reason that direction, because you'll be thinking like you're nowhere ready. You're not close. Yesterday we talked about premarital counseling, and you discover that these teenagers, they are not even willing. You know, they have this nonchalant attitude, like you've lived your life, this is my life. And that is where the toughness of parents come in. Do you think that parents are not strict enough? Have we brought in have we westernized parenting to an extent that we pamper children and don't know where to draw that line of discipline? The Bible says, spare the rod, spoil the child. So do you think that we've westernized? Because African parents in those days, you know, sometimes I see certain things and the how do I put it? The anger in me, I'm always wanting to act like it's something wrong with you. It's not as if I'm old, but from the training I got, I still have that.
From the training you got.
Yes. And I still had friends that were raised by single parents that are still doing extremely well. You would not even have a trace that this person was raised by a single one, because at that point it was even a taboo to be a single mom, a single parent. So you hide your shame. You don't want people to stereotype you. But these days, the pride in being
baby mamas. Let's say
so do you think that we've westernized this whole thing?
I can say this actually a cultural shift. It's a cultural shift. We left our own culture a long time ago. So
we left it a long time ago, because I remember in those days, you remember one of our discussions when we tried to look at the past and now. In those days, in the community you grow up, in the area, you know, my father, my mother, your mommy's friend or father's friend will see you and caution you one day. But these days, westernization, I want to live my life. I don't want anybody to touch my baby or my daughter, you know, as it's been part of those
yes,
things.
we used to have this adage that says, it takes a whole community to train a child. But not now.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. It takes the
I
child.
think that's also added to what we have now.
Yes.
Because the child will look at it, joy, daughter will
please
say,
give us the final word to our viewers while we round up.
Okay, I'll just say this. Let's not forget the fact that parenting is a tough job. You need to, before you go for an interview to get a job, you equip yourself, you go to school, you do all of those things, right? Marriage is, family life is like that. Before you start a family, equip yourself. Know about parenting and not about parenting for the time. There's a parenting for the time.
For the time.
Do you understand? That there's a parenting for their time, for our time, but there's a parenting for this time. And if you don't do the parenting right, the society will help you parent your children.
It's okay, Olori.
Help you to parent your children. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. It's so good to have you. My saying is this: say, train up your child the way she should grow, and when they grow up, they will not depart from it. I know it may look like it's a long journey. I said it. If you cannot parent, don't be a parent. It's another thing for you to have to your right up and put it above and start asking yourself questions. How many rent? How far can I go with my rent to put my rent together? My name is Remain Olori Adejoke Adabi David. You can follow me on Facebook with that name, and my friends call me Olori AJ. I wish you the very best of today. Have a lovely day ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Pastor. We have been discussing with Dr. Simon. He said I should call him Doctor. I mean, the pastor was just entering my mouth, because I can't take that away from him, Dr. Simon. Firstly, he's been very here in the studio, giving us the educative teaching we need to know. And if you want more of it, please, he will share his social media handle so that you can join any of his counseling sections. Pastor, please, your social media handle quickly before we go.
Simon Priestley.
Okay, at Simon.
The Simon is S-Y.
S-Y. Okay. I'll get that, and then we'll put it across on social media so that you can get that. Thank you very, very much. Today has been another eye-opener for parenting, for single parents and raising teenagers. My name still remains Joy Abu. We'll see you tomorrow, Wednesday, when we'll discuss another successful topic on marriage. Of course, when we discuss marriage, it's something that is key and important to us. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday ahead.